The Scenes of Crime Unit was established in 2004 under the command of the Belize Police Department. However, in 2013, the unit, along with the Medical Examiner's Unit, was amalgamated under the management of the National Forensic Science Services.
The idea to make them separate from the police department is to try to promote objectivity of analysis and try to mitigate against the perception that the forensics department is working solely for the police side or the prosecution side of cases.
The unit is headquartered at the Queen Street Police Station compound in Belize City. There is a branch of the unit countrywide at all major police stations.
We have senior crime scene technicians for the Scenes of Crime Unit. That we have 5 of them. One is responsible for northern Belize, one for western, one for southern, and 2 for the eastern division.
Ashanti Guzman is the assistant director of the Scenes of Crime Unit. She told us briefly about her role.
My role is to execute the goals and functions of the unit, implement policy changes, ensure that policies and procedures are carried out in an effective way, as well as liaise with the other assistant directors for the department to ensure compliance with policies and procedures which are done in an effective and timely manner.
Currently, there are 31 crime scene technicians at different levels. These are the public officers you would spot at a crime scene along with the police officers.
Some of the offices have as little as 1 personnel working out of it. Some offices have up to about 10 or 11 personnel on shift working out of that office. Belize City office is the only office that is manned 24/7 on a shift basis. The other offices are manned 8 to 5, and after hours it's on an on-call basis.
Crime scene technicians have varying degrees of responsibilities. They're primarily responsible for processing the crime scene. The processing involving collecting evidence from crime scenes, which include packaging, proper labeling, sealing, and transporting these exhibits from these crime scenes and handed over to the case investigating officer or transported to the forensic laboratory for analysis.
So what does it take to become a crime scene technician?
The person must have at least an associate's degree in some kind of natural science, biology, chemistry, or any related fields such as criminal justice or criminology. No years experience is required, but if the person do have background in crime scene processing, that will be an asset.
Here we have the Scenes of Crime Mobile, which the Scenes of Crime Unit process crime scenes in the city. The first thing we have here is our metal detector. This is used mostly when we are processing shooting. We go and try to see if we could find slugs or shells or so forth on a crime scene. This here is our biofoam. This is for impression purposes. If you could put your hand on the and just press on it, and you'll see that you could move it now. What we do, we collect the prints from personnel, or we usually use it for footprints on the crime scene. When let's say we find a person of suspect, then we let them stand on the foam, and then their shoe print will leave there, and so we could match it with the prints we left out from the crime scene.
Use this over again?
No, once we use it, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Here we have our famous crime scene barrier tape, which we use at all crime scenes. So when there is a crime, we have things that we call the barrier. We have 2 types of barrier. We have the cordon, which we cordon off the crime scene so that nobody can go in there and contaminate the crime scene. And once you see this crime scene barrier tape on the crime scene, that nobody should enter under the crime scene, because that's the area we suspect the crime had occurred, and so that's where we will be searching for all our evidence and exhibits there on the crime scene. Again, once we found an exhibit, then we number them with our indicators. We have indicators from 1 to 50. So whenever you see an indicator there, simply means there is an exhibit or an evidence there. All right, and over this side we have the UV lights. We usually use UV lights for sexual assaults or for looking for small objects. For example, semen, blood, saliva, and then whatever we use the light, we use it along with the goggles, and only with the goggles you could see what this is showing. And then we have our fingerprint kit here, which we dust for all fingerprints on the crime scene. We have magnetic, we have conventional fingerprint powders. And we have our brush, which we brush our fingerprints. And that's it for this truck. Inside the truck also have generators, it have coolers, it have first responders crime scene kit, which we have all the equipment we need to process any crime scene in Belize City or countrywide. We also have our body bags for the purpose of transporting bodies from the scene to the hospital or to the morgue. Okay. And we also have other equipments in here, which we use at all crime scenes. The scenes of crime technicians also use their protective gears when they go to the crime scene.
As you can see, the technicians carry out various tasks, including lifting latent prints from crime scenes when necessary. When they do this, they require the use of the AFIS, the Automated Fingerprint Identification System, which is used to identify latent prints.
I am one of 4 fingerprint expert analysts in the country of Belize, and what I would do is analyze these prints against a database of convicted persons. And if we get a match in that database, then I would do a manual comparison and then I would take it to court. If there is no match in the system, sometimes they would have suspects, people that were seen leaving the area or seen with items or articles from that area. We would get those persons' prints and we would run it against the latent prints found at the crime scene. Previously, when we used to do manual comparison, it was only able to be done against suspects. But now that we have the AFIS, which is an automated computerized fingerprint system, we can check against a database of thousands.
Both the Belize Police Department and the court depend on the functions of the Scenes of Crime Unit. The outputs of the Forensics Department can be used by either the prosecution or the defense. An important part of their job is to give expert witness testimony in court in reference to their crime scene processing.
They provide a very essential service for us, which police used to do before, but now it is on their hands. We depend a lot on them when it comes to the processing of scene, collecting, packaging, and transporting of evidence that are actually left on the scene and they need to be analyzed at the lab. We communicate with the scenes of crime technician and the investigators. They are having meetings in regards to different scenes that they attend and how to best improve the scenes.
The Scenes of Crime Unit effectively carry out its duties. However, the need for improved office spaces countrywide has become a priority for the department. The Forensics Department is working on a project to prioritize which offices are in need of new spaces. Very important is to have an appropriate area for the technicians to manage exhibits from crime scenes.
Basically what needs to happen is each Scenes of Crime office needs to have a technical workspace that they can handle those exhibits, and also an office space area where they can actually write reports, conduct meetings, conduct trainings, etc. Of course, in Belize City, because they're on 24/7 duty, a lot of them, or some technicians are on shift during the night, during the early hours of the morning. We do have to accommodate rest quarters, sleeping quarters for staff. So there needs to be a push for us, and there is a push, like I said, to invest in upgraded work areas, office areas, and resting quarters for staff for scenes of crime.
The plans for the department are hoped to come to fruition within the next few years. In the meantime, the Scenes of Crime Unit continues to dedicate their service to Belize.